Hey. Welcome back to Logistics at a Crossroads. I am going to talk about today something that's been kind of weighing on me. And it's out there. Autonomous trucking. Now, there's definitely been a lot of buzz lately, especially after news broke that Aurora Innovation has officially launched fully driverless trucks. Where did they launch this? Texas, of all places. And specifically between two very large hubs or cities, Dallas and Houston. Now, since launch, these trucks have already logged more than 1,200 miles. No safety driver, no engineer, just sensors, code, and steel guiding more than 80,000-pound machines down major highways. And if you've ever driven in Texas, you know the highways is more like the Autobahn. And I'll be honest, it worries me just a smidge. Because let's take it for face value. The U.S. trucking industry employs 3.5 million drivers. These aren't just numbers. These are people supporting families, paying bills, keeping communities connected, and replacing them with code isn't just a technical decision anymore. It's a human one. And while, yes, 1,000% human drivers make mistakes, but so does AI. And I'm going to bring up Tesla because they have that autopilot system. And I know, according to the NHTSA, there have been over 1,800 crashes because of the autopilot system. And that's not a glitch. That's just a warning of what is to come. Now, I will say Aurora's trucks are equipped with 360-degree sensors and a LiDAR that can detect obstacles over 500 meters away. And these trucks are operating at highway speeds, talking 75 miles per hour. As someone whose daddy was a driver and drove for a company that governed their trucks, and you know them, you joke about them, but we won't say them, and they govern them at 60. Can these trucks be governed? Because thinking of a driverless 18-wheeler hitting 80 kind of gives me the heebie-jeebies. But I digress. Because I'm talking about what happens when something unexpected occurs. A deer. Someone cutting you off. Heck, a construction zone suddenly shifts. Look, I love technology just as much as the next gal or guy. And yes, while autonomous trucks can run 24/7 and are not held accountable to the 14-hour rule, and that may lead to an estimated 11 to 27% in fuel savings, which could very well translate into hundreds of millions of gallons saved and billions of pounds of reduced CO2 annually if we scaled it. It still gives me the heebie-jeebies. And those gains will come at a cost. Now, studies suggest that if driverless trucks are fully implemented, we could see a 60 to 65% of long-haul jobs disappear. Here comes the panic. Now, on the flip side, I'm going to stay all positive right now. A more gradual rollout could limit the job impact to around 1.3 to 1.7 annually, especially if we invest in retraining. And this is where that tension comes in. Do we treat drivers as expendable, or are they essential? And let's also consider the broader logistics ecosystem. Autonomous tech can reduce supply chain delays by up to 40%. And in a platoon setup where trucks travel in close, coordinated convoys, we will see fuel savings between 5 and 15%, thanks to that reduced drag. These are real benefits. But again, they are not free benefits. They cost jobs. They shift responsibilities. They introduce new kinds of risks. And I said it earlier, and I'm a bit biased, as my dad not only served his country for 25 years, he retired and went straight to what? Trucking. I learned how to read a map, and I'm talking the big old Bahama Mama maps that you got at a truck stop at 2 o'clock in the morning that you had to spread across the dash, and you had to flip a page and get in the crease to figure out where that inch mark was to tell you it was 100 miles away. I digress. I'm sorry. I learned how to help him plan a route to get him from point A to point B. And we even had, and I'm going to age myself, back in the day, MCI or /AT&T or Bell South. I just really aged myself and I apologize. You could add a toll-free number to your house phone, your landline, for 5 cents a minute. And anyone could call you on that 800 number if they were out of your state. And this was before you had to dial all the numbers. You could just dial the last 4 if you were in the same city. Oh, I really did age myself. Because there weren't cell phones back then. Truckers, or people on the road, actually went into truck stops, mom and pop ones too, and on the back wall, in the back of the trucker area, their rest area, where there was a really sketchy couch and a couple of old chairs and some old Waffle House tables, there was a phone bank lined up. There was probably 6 to 8 of them, if you were lucky. And they would pick up the phone and they would either dial collect, they'd have a calling card, or my daddy just dialed the 800 number to get to us. Now, when I say there weren't any cell phones back then, and I'm really going off a tangent, I'm sorry, I'm going to get back to the whole thing in a minute. They did have bag phones. That was used, I think, 3 times a year if he was out on holiday, a birthday, and maybe an anniversary for him and mom if he was on the road. But you didn't call that phone. Unless it was an emergency, somebody died, you didn't call that bag phone. It was expensive. So when I tell you I've been in the industry and I've learned from the ground up, and I'm talking learning logbooks and working miles and doing all of that, thank you Jesus for whoever came up with e-logs. You saved my cramped hand when it came to filing a trucker's tax. But I digress. Again, I digress. I'm sorry. I've been there. I've seen it from the ground up. And I know that right now we still do not have the infrastructure to handle more than a fleet of driverless trucks. Because who's maintaining these trucks mid-route? If they're electric, who charges them? Is our highway network even prepared for AI-driven breakdowns? We're talking about machines that need digital, not human support. And regulation. Now, Texas has been aggressive with a hands-off approach. And they've actually enabled these launches quickly. But since they've launched, lawmakers are realizing there needs to be actual guardrails, literally and legislative. There needs to be more conversations. And let's talk about equity. What about these displaced drivers? They're supposed to be offered retraining. That's what everyone's saying. Will the government step up with a real policy? Or will we default to public assistance to catch those automation leave behind? These aren't tech questions, they're moral ones. We can't treat this as just a software update. This is a fork in the road for our values. What kind of industry do we want to build? Now, there is space for AI in logistics, medical diagnostics, school routing, even traffic pattern optimization. But when it comes to 80,000-pound vehicles barreling down a highway, we need to be absolutely sure. That's why I personally believe in a hybrid model. AI is a co-pilot to begin with, not the captain. A human still in that seat, still responsible, still ready when the milliseconds matter. I am not against innovation. I am 100% for accountability and for safety, for protecting the people who've kept this industry running. If we make efficiency the only goal, we'll have a system that works perfectly until it doesn't. And when it fails, we'll be asking, where did the humans go? So here we are at a true crossroads. Now, Aurora may be the first, but they won't be the last. The data's real. The benefits, I'm telling you, they look good. It's right. The grass is greener on the other side, so tempting. But so is the cost. And we truly owe it to every driver, every family, and every future worker to get this right. Not fast, but right. We need to have the ability to have a midpoint. We need to have conversations about where they're being fueled or charged, how they're being diagnosed mid-route. Do we have the ability to have repair trucks on the ground? Do we have places set up in between point A to point B to point D? Skip and C altogether. We just need to make sure we do it right. Because the future of logistics isn't just about tech. It's about people. And I'll be here every step of the way with you, navigating these crossroads. Thanks.